Hi, and welcome to another episode of Real Talk for Coaches. I'm excited to be with you again. I know it's been a while. I am your host, Dr. Dawn Reid. And as you know, Real Talk for Coaches is everything coaching, where we talk about trends and topics that are important to coaching professionals, especially new and aspiring coaches, HR professionals, leaders. This is where you can go to develop your coaching competencies. And as you see, my wonderful co host, Coach Will, is not with us today. He is on vacation. He will be joining us again in upcoming episodes. But please keep in mind that I'm also traveling abroad and developing my digital nomad program. And one of the countries that I'm in right now is Thailand. And very exciting. And if you follow me on social media, you know that I've been talking a lot about it and giving you tidbits. And I have a whole coaching segment just for digital nomad coaches and coaches without borders, digital nomad leaders, all that good stuff. So definitely make sure you connect to learn more about that. But yes, my co-host is not here. So, I hope that you guys will still enjoy having fun with me solo. And also, Coach Will and I were talking about how we can go about bringing on more guests. And when I started my Real Talk for Coaches podcast, I did have a format. I did bring on guests, and some guests were amazing. I loved working with them. And some guests didn't fit the niche. And so I do want to bring in special guests, especially for times like this when myself or Will are on vacation, and to have someone still do episodes so that you guys are still continually getting great information and great content. So I am looking at how do I bring on special guests or temporary hosts in my absence or in Will's absence. So if you are interested, we would love to meet with you, chat with you, interview with you, and see if our program is a good fit for you. And we would love to bring on experienced coaches who have a really great specialization and a great topic that really will help you and this audience. So again, we're open, but I'm going to be very, very restrictive, and I'm going to be very clear about the types of guests that will come on the show because I think that's very important to have. All right, so without that said, without further ado, let's talk about this topic. This topic is vital. Why business development feels like torture. And it can be for many of us. Some people like the business development piece, but for many of us, we entered into coaching because what? We wanted to help people. And with that being said, there is a component that I think many new and aspiring coaches miss, and some veteran coaches just detest. And that's business development. And so, what do I mean by business development? So, it's really the business part of coaching or the coaching business aspect. That's everything from your operations, your strategies for marketing, your strategies for social media, your strategies for internal process, how you onboard your clients, how you market yourself, your unique value proposition. All of that is part of business development, how you develop and scale your coaching practice. Now, this is really for people who are solo entrepreneurs mainly, right? And not everybody necessarily goes down this path. And I'm going to do a whole nother segment if you choose to be an internal coach or consultant or not necessarily focus on having your own business where you have to highlight the business development piece. So there's ways around it. You don't have to, be the solo business owner, entrepreneur. You really don't. But that's going to be another segment. This segment is for external coaches. You have an LLC or you're part of an LLP or you have an Inc. or S Corp or something to that effect where you are a business owner. And this is what we're going to talk a little bit about. I'm not going to be able to go through every little thing, but I am going to be able to highlight maybe three key talking points. One, the pain points of business development, why it's so difficult, and what we can do about it. We're going to talk about ways to solve some of the business development pieces that you don't really want to do. And we'll take it from there, and we'll just continue this conversation. So please feel free to put your questions, your comments, your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe, because I share a lot of great tips for you. And a lot of my clients, when they coach with me on business development, let me tell you, they pay a nice hefty fee. So you're going to get some breadcrumbs that should be fulfilling and a good starter for you. And of course, if you want more one-on-one customized support, you know how to reach me. All right, you guys. So let's really talk about this. And again, I am going to talk about hiring professionals. I'm going to talk about AI as options, lots of things. And I do have a very inexpensive uh, self-paced training program that's really helpful for this too. All right, okay, enough selling, enough of my shameless plug. So let's talk about the real, the important parts of this. Pain points, where coaches get stuck when it comes to the business development piece. And let me tell you, I have been to many business development trainings and programs. I've gone through the Small Business Association, I've gone through SCORE. These are really good resources, actually, where you can get a lot of free training or very low cost training. All of these resources easily accessible, easily readily available to you. Yeah. And so I've done a lot of them, and many of them are very helpful. But I still continue to see coaches struggle. So, couple of things. One of the pain points I know that coaches struggle with, including myself, is it feels icky. Self promotion feels icky, right? I know I've worked with quite a few clients. I had one client, she was adamant. She's like, I don't want to be on social media, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that. And, as a coach, our role really isn't to tell people what they should or should not do. But we can challenge our clients when there's resistance. And, you have to face your resistance on what's creating the barrier for you putting yourself out there. And yes, I know most of us don't want to sound like a salesman or a car salesman or our goal and the reason why we got into coaching is because we want to help people. And it kind of feels like a conflict of interest when you're selling a product or a service that's meant to help people. But again, I have to remind you that the coaching business is a business. And if you are a solo entrepreneur, then obviously you need to make money because I'm sure you have rent, I'm sure you have bills to pay, car note, food to buy. And if you're not making money, then I don't see how you're going to be able to support yourself and your livelihood. I mean, it's just this is what the business does. Now, again, you don't have to own your own business, and there's other paths for you in order to earn an income and still be able to do this type of work because your focus is helping people. And we'll talk about that again later. But yes, common pain point, it feels icky to sell, but it's a business. You have to have a marketing strategy. You have to have a selling and promotion strategy or some type of funnel. And there are ways, and I'm going to give you a couple of ideas throughout this segment on what are the things that you can do and make it feel less icky. Because let me tell you, I am not a salesperson. I go, look, you want to buy this? You don't? Okay, fine. I keep it moving. I don't necessarily like selling. I don't because it feels cheesy, right? But there are things that you can do that's organic, that aligns with your values and how you approach marketing and creating a strategy that fits your needs and fits your target and fits your budget. Another pain point is imposter syndrome. And oh my God, I hear this so freaking much. That term is driving me nuts too, but that's a personal thing that I probably need therapy for. Anyway, or maybe I need some more coaching around. Imposter syndrome hits people hard, especially new coaches. Uh, People struggle with talking about their value, their unique position in the market. They don't like talking about themselves and how amazing they are. Because again, we've been conditioned to believe that talking about yourself is vain, it's prideful, you shouldn't do it, other people should be talking about you, you shouldn't talk about yourself. But this is a business. You have to get comfortable talking about yourself. And I will be honest, I've had my business for the last 10 years. Oh, 11 years, y'all, 11. And I will say I am way more comfortable now talking about myself, asking for money, asking for referrals, asking for references, sharing what my values are because I believe in what I do. And I do believe and know that what I do works and it supports people and it helps other coaches optimize their full potential and maximize their resources. I know it. And so if I know it and believe it, then I shouldn't have a hard time talking about it because it's true. And so that's another pain point that a lot of coaches have is just talking about themselves, putting themselves out there, letting the world know and see who they are. And part of that is also is it's not perfect, or coaches will begin to compare themselves to other coaches who got a team of people helping them put themselves out there. And a lot of us are solo. We do a lot of things on our own. The business development piece is something that most solo entrepreneur coaches are doing by themselves. But that makes it a little bit more scary because then people get paralysis analysis. They have fear of not being good enough and all of that stuff that conjures up when you're putting yourself out there and you're doing it by yourself. So that's another pain point. And if any of these pain points are you, let me know. Like if there is a particular pain point that you're experiencing and maybe I don't mention it, feel free to put it in the comments. I would love to know what's your thing, right? And one more pain point that I'll mention is confusion about where to start. What does business development look like? Should you work on your website first? Should you register your business first? Should you do social media and start a social media platform? Which social media platform to go on? Who is your target market? Who's your niche? How should you approach them? What's their pain point? What is my value? Like answering those questions and hint, hint, hint. I do have a training course that take you through all of it. So make sure you check that out. But that's another pain point, the confusion about where, when, and how to start. And so we can talk a little bit about those a little bit more in depth and what that means, right? So let's go into the second talking point, business development. Let's decode some of this stuff to help you as an entrepreneur, business owner, solo coach start to really become strategic, intentional, and purposeful around your business development piece because that is something that holds a lot of coaches back from really pushing their coaching practice into this professional light and really getting the right clients for your niche and your practice. So let's talk a little bit about business development. It's really not just sales. And if you reframe it to look at it more as building relationships and building opportunities, it feels less icky. It feels less car salesman, right? And so you have to think about business development as relationship building. That is the foundation. And it also means that you don't have to be pushy. And I'd also challenge you to say, reframe pushiness and selling into being helpful, being a solution provider, being someone that can help another person or organization move past where they're stuck because you have the ability to do that. right? To help your clients dig deep within themselves to find the answers that they need to move forward. That's really what coaching is all about, right? And so when you look at it from the perspective of how do I build relationships, what does that strategy look like? It takes away from the business development salesy piece. So what do I mean by that? So I was working with a new coach, and they were looking at how do they brand. And again, another common theme that I see with a lot of coaches is that they want to kind of coach everyone because there's a fear of missing out. They fear that there's a client that they're going to miss out on, or that they're not going to bring in income because they're nichifying. And I'm going to be really honest with you, it took me 5 years to get over that fear. It really did. So I was working with a client, and they were really trying to build their brand, and their challenge was one, fear of putting themselves out there, but also fear of being too narrow and missing out on opportunities. And what I found is that when you know how to niche down, when you are very clear about your value, the particular problem that you solve, and the particular type of clients that you work with, you actually open yourself up to really targeting a particular group of people who will want to buy your program, buy your service. They will really seek you out because they know you have the answer. They really believe that you got what they need. And that is the key. And you have to do that through building the relationships around you. You can build relationships with people in your community, your neighbors, family members. And I know some people don't like to do that, but they are options. I'm telling you. You can do this with your networking circle. You could do this with past colleagues, past managers. You could do this with your social media. There are ways in which you can connect to other people to let them know about how awesome and amazing you are and the particular problems you solve that nobody else but you can solve. And that's the key. And you don't have to be pushy. You know, I have, for myself and other clients, like for instance, reaching out to the niche market that you are targeting through LinkedIn, one of my favorite ways of connecting with people, and sharing an article, sharing a tip. Here's a real example. There's someone that I am connected with and know professionally on LinkedIn, and they were looking for opportunities in the voiceover, voice acting space. And all I did was share some resources that I already had because I do work with TV, film, movie, entertainment. I do have clients in that field. And so I have quite a few resources that I've built up, and so I just shared some information that I had. I gave some tips on, here's how you can enter in this market and find opportunities that are remote, that pays well. Here's a few people that you might want to follow on LinkedIn because they're in this industry and this is what they do. And so I provided that information. I did it out of the genuine care in my heart. I have the information and the tools. I was happy to share it. And so now that plants a seed, and that will allow for continued relationship building, that can allow for referrals, that can allow for, oh, you know what? Maybe I want to work with Coach Dawn a little bit closer to help me position myself for this role and apply for different positions as a voiceover actor in that space, in the TV and film space. So again, you have information and resources. Share it. Answer questions. Another great resource are LinkedIn groups as well as Facebook groups. I am part of many digital nomad groups on Facebook, for instance, and particular countries that I've visited or plan to visit. I'm part of a few of those groups. And it's the same thing. I created a fact sheet for one of the countries that I'm in, and I shared that fact sheet with people. What are some of the cultural norms to consider? What's the process for your visa application? What are remote jobs that are available that you can do while you are in another country and you're looking for work. Like, I have tons of resources with this information. And again, when I'm in this group and people have a question, I share. Share. When people have questions about, flights and all kinds of, eSIM cards and things like that, and getting a number for the location that they're in. I have information and resources for that. I share it. And so, again, that's part of outreach, business development. And those seeds open up opportunity for people to go, oh, you got information. Oh, I wonder if you know about something else I'm thinking about or have questions about. And again, I do work with other coaches and help them really look at who's their demographic, what groups and networking circles do they belong in, and how can they be a resource. That is your foundation. That is not about selling. You are being helpful. You're doing what naturally comes to you as a coach and a professional and someone who's empathetic. And you're just leveraging what you know to help other people. And what happens is part of that is kind of sliding in the fact that you are a coach and you do work with people like them who have that particular problem, and you're happy to do a 15-minute free consultation, or you're happy to give them a discount on their first 30 minutes of coaching with you, or whatever that might look like. You can be the judge of how you want to charge for that and what that can look like for you. But I say all of that to say, it is important for you to be able to reach out and start to change your mindset from I'm going to be pushy and say buy my service and I got this service, to here's some information that could support you on your journey. And if you want to know more, contact me. Here's a link to set up time or book time with me. You're done. That's it. Right? So, this is how you can build authentic connections so it doesn't feel icky. Another thing I think that a lot of coaches miss out on is building systems. Whew, I am not a systems person. Well, no, let me take that back. I'm going to take that back. I'm a systems person when I need to do the work. I got to do the work. I need systems and structure. I absolutely need systems and structure. I will be all over the place if I don't have guardrails. So I do like systems and structure. I'm also good with creating them. It's the executing in my own business that I don't like. I'm happy to do it for somebody else. I don't like to do it for myself. I don't ask me why, but it's one of those things like, oh my God, I'd rather be coaching. I don't want to do this. Or either I just want to do it for somebody else, not for myself. Um, but it is important to create systems that align with your mission, your values, your services. And those systems could be anything from how you want to approach social media, how you want to approach your email campaigns, how do you want to approach onboarding your clients. And these are things that if you spent some time navigating, you will find that you will create some really great structures and templates and processes that will help you manage and even automate business development tasks. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the things that you can do to help with this as well. But again, create a system, because the system creates structure, and the structure gives you the guardrails you need so you're not all over the place. And a key thing that you got to remember is don't try to do everything at once. Pick a system that's most important in the beginning, like your onboarding for your clients. What does that look like? Because you want to prepare to get the client, right? You want the clients. The clients is the thing that's going to help create and generate profit for you. It's going to help get your business out there. So, what does your onboarding system look like? And once you have an onboarding system, you have automation in place, you have your agreements in place, you have your templates in place, then you can go to the next system. What does your invoice system look like? Do you want to use QuickBooks? Do you want to hire a VA or a bookkeeper or an accountant? All of those things will start to come into play. Like I have templates for my invoices. I have templates for Um, my social media content, I have templates for my documents. I have processes and procedures uh, created to help me with how I want to do things. And a thing that's really important with processes and procedures and systems, they keep you organized, man. Organized, structured, focused, consistent, right? You're not all over the place. And again, don't try to do it all at one time. Just pick one thing, get it done, go to the next thing, and just keep doing it. And I'm going to talk a little bit about supports that's going to help that next. But just keep in mind that these are the things that will help you with the business development side. Take all the stuff that you're learning, anything that you get, and start to massage it and create the system that you need to help it work for your coaching practice. It will make a huge difference. A huge difference. I kid you not. Couple of things that you can do to help you. I'm looking at my notes. So for those who are watching me on video, I'm looking at my notes. Okay. Smart ways of streamlining the process. So here's a couple of things to think about. I love AI. I love AI. A lot of people struggle with it. And I'm like, look, if your goal is to do more coaching or training and less processes and procedures, then use AI. You can put into AI what you want the terms of service to be for your coaching program. You can put in line what your privacy and confidentiality is. You can create your coaching agreements and you can set up how you want to structure your social media platform, your social media page, your content. It can help you with content ideas. All of these things will help you in this process of getting the business development piece in order. Do not sleep on AI. And I have tools for that. And I have a training class for that. You could take it, it's at self paced. You could do it at your time when you feel like it. There's no end date to complete it. You just go ahead and do it. There's a workbook with it. So it takes you step by step, task by task, that you can create and develop pieces for your professional development as part of your business and help you execute so much more efficiently. The other thing I would say is delegate and get specialists. You know, I don't know how I'm gonna say this. I guess I'm just gonna say it straight and no chaser. A lot of coaches are very, for lack of a better word, cheap. And I understand, we're working on budgets and you may not have the capital to really invest a lot of money. But this is when you can be strategic and say, what part do I want to focus on and take, and what part can I hire out or outsource to someone else? Like, for example, I would prefer I make phone calls because it's easy for me to talk about my business. But let's say that's not your forte. You can create a script using AI or have a VA create a script for you. They can also use AI and they can help you make those outreach calls. You could hire a VA to research LinkedIn profiles for you and create a list of X amount of people that you'd like to reach out to and send information to. You can purchase lists of already curated names of people who meet your ideal cream clients and niche target market. And you can create a whole email campaign for 100, 200, 500 people, depending on how much you want to invest in a list. And then you can begin to send out great information and great content about yourself and about your business, right? So hire people. Fiverr, a lot of people use Fiverr, Upworks, Freelance, Elance, Thumbstack. All of those particular platforms are great for hiring individuals that can do project work for you. Um, Look, I'm not a bookkeeper. I know QuickBooks. I know how to set it up. I know how to work it. I know how to do what I need to do. I know how to pay people from it. I know how to work it. I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm being honest. Um, and so I hired a bookkeeper. That was one of the investments. I'm like, I need somebody to take care of this for me because I don't want to deal with it. I don't. I know what it is, and I have a relationship with my bookkeeper where every month she sends me my P&L report. I go through it. I see where my expenses are. I see where my income is. I know what I'm spending on. I know where I need to make my adjustments. We meet every quarter to look at my financial goals, my financial pictures. So I'm highly, heavily involved in a piece of professional development that I just don't want to do. But I know it needs to be done. And I have a professional that's working with me to make sure I'm on top of it. And they do the bulk of the thing that's in their wheelhouse that they like doing. I don't like doing it. I'm just saying. So just keep in mind that you can hire people and go by what your budget looks like, or really make a conscious effort on where you want to put the investment so that you can do more of what you love, even in the business development piece. And one of the other final things I would say is you can hire a VA or a social media coordinator to help schedule your social media posts, to help create certain types of content, to do research for you, to help you do content. And again, AI is your best friend. There are applications out there that will schedule your social media for you. And most platforms, like if you use Wix or other site management tools, they have automated ways of scheduling your social media content, helping you create a social media calendar and all that good stuff. So there are so many amazing tools out there for you to make business development easy. And the same thing with generating clients, and how do you leverage your current clients in being a resource to help you generate more clients. So there's a lot that you could do. And if you want to know more, if you want to get customized support, please reach out to me. I am happy to talk with you and help you really develop this piece, because coaching is a business. And if you are a solo entrepreneur, it's so important for you to do this piece. You have to do this piece. And there are so many ways to make it easier for you, and I am happy to share those. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you got questions, leave them in the comments. If you want to know something specific, or you want me to kind of drill down on any one of the items that I've talked about in this segment, please feel free to let me know. Let me know. Talk to me. And if you're interested in being a guest on the show, let me know that too. All right, you guys, go out there and create awesome sauce for yourself and others. And please join me again for the next episode. And there's so many topics that I can't wait to share with you. And if you have a special topic that you want me to bring, let me know. I am happy to dive deep on topics that you feel is going to help your coaching business thrive. All right, you guys, take care, and I will see you in the next episode.